Hi everyone, it's Karen here. Welcome to another video with me and Lavinia Stamps. I hope you are all enjoying this fabulous new range of gorgeous stamps designed by Tracy herself. So today I'm going to feature this lovely Gus owl. He just is so beautiful. Look at the detail within him. And I've put him against this vine branch top and bottom. So it looks quite different there, just depending on the way I've angled it and adding in a few more berries. And then here I've added in the feather from the woodland set. I've set it on a background on one of the Dreamscape papers. So a really super quick, easy background, just cutting one of these gorgeous sheets. Now look at all the different colorways that you can choose from. Isn't that a treat? So I've edged it with some Distress Oxides to bring the whole picture into the center. I've used some colored pencils to create a bit of variation in his wings, and then some white pen for extra interest. So thanks so much for watching, and I would love to see what you make. So stay tuned. So the first thing that we're going to do is you're going to pick one of those lovely sheets from that pad. They are 8 inches squared, but I have just chopped off one of it to 5 inches, which is 13 centimeters. So you've still got the full width, and then I've just, or the length, I've just chopped it a bit smaller there. And the first thing that I'm going to do is using my gorgeous little Gus owl. He's so mischievous. And my VersaFine Clair Nocturne, because that is super black and gives me a lovely detailed image, because you'll see when I stamp this, my goodness, the detail and the feathers, it must have taken Tracy hours to draw this. So make sure that you've inked it up really, really well. So you can see the white swirls on this paper, just going to give us a bit of extra interest, and these lovely bubbles in our background. And we're just going to pop him almost center of top and bottom here. Excuse my fingers. I have been playing inking all day. And there he is. Look at him. Look at that detail. Gorgeous little boy. Then we're going to take our vine branch, and again, using Nocturne, give it a good inking. So I like to do this tap, 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 because it ensures that the ink is evenly applied on your stamp. If you scrape it along, you tend not to get such a sharp image. And I'm just going to set this underneath his gorgeous claws there. Perfect, perfect, perfect. We will do the top later. Just going to clean this mat because I don't want any of that to transfer onto our gorgeous design as we go through it. So now you're going to pick your favorite colored pencils. Any will do. I've chosen a few browns, and then I've got a couple of greens. I've used the green here, and then I've got blue for his eyes. Now, this is magical, right? So you can choose to make it any colour you like. As you will have seen, some some of my fellow design team members, they've created some gorgeous creations with lots of different colours. So whatever you choose, I'm sure it'll be lovely. We're going to start by colouring his eyes. And because there's so much detail here on these stamps, you don't have to be an expert colourer. The black VersaFine Clear comes through, so you don't have to worry too much about what's happening underneath. Now I'm going to go green here. So I chose some colours. Look, you can see with my browns, and I've got this sort of reddy brown that I've picked up from the background, and I'm also using green just because a bit of the bottom here, I think that works really well. Now, I'm not going to bore you by making you watch me colour the whole thing, but I am going to give you a flavour of how I'm going to do his feathers. I am just going to put a bit of green under his eyes here to just add a bit of colour. And I'm using this scissor motion here when I'm colouring, and I'll go over more than once, because what that'll do is just make sure you get an even coverage of the colour. Look at that, fun. Now I'm also going to do his tummy, because if you look at my original, I've coloured his tummy in green as well as his eyes there. So I've got 2 tones of green, and I'm just going to, and I'm moving this pencil in a circular motion here. I'm going to go all over the feathers, making sure that that centre is well covered. Then I'm going to take my darker green, and again, still using a circular motion. And I'm doing that circular motion as opposed to the scissor motion there, just because these are fine feathers, and if I went up and down, I'm likely to create more gaps. So by doing this circular motion, and then I'm going to go darker around the edge, so that what I'm going to be left with is a lighter patch in the centre. So you can see it starting to come together there. There you go. Now if you want to lighten that up a little, I've picked up a yellow, and that's going to brighten that centre just a tad. There we go. And now we're going to have fun with the feathers. So you're just going to pick some contrasting browns, orange, beige, something like that, so that it's not going to look flat. And again, I'm just doing this scissor motion here. So you can see I'm not covering the entire feather. I'm just taking bits of the feather, because I'm going to bring in a different colour to create that highlight. So I've just gone through the centre of those feathers. And now I'm going to take this bright yellow actually, and I'm just going to colour around that really dark winey colour that I put in the centre there. So you see, now if you don't like such a contrast, you can blend it, tone it down a bit, add a bit more brown over the top. Look at him, he's coming together. Now, for the majority of his feathers, I am now going to just colour over in patches over the whole area. Then I'm going to take a contrasting colour and carefully colour in a few of those feathers. that creates a contrast. It highlights some of those feathers, and you can use different shades. So there, that was a winey colour, and now this is a bit of a brown. So you can see this is how you create the depth and the interest throughout his whole body. So like that. So you can see that's how I did the rest of his wings. All over, feathers and his feet. And then I went over the tree branch as well. Again, different shades to create just depth. Okay, so there we have it. The important thing is that you create lots of texture because, as you know, an owl's feathers, there's a lot of colour in them, and as the breeze catches them, you get these lovely flecks of variation throughout the body. So that's what I've tried to create there. I hope you had fun. You will have fun when you start colouring. I've done the same with his talons and along the branch at the bottom. Now we're going to create a frame around our picture before we put some of the foliage in at the top. And for that, I've picked colours that were in my background. So aged mahogany, I think that goes really well with this background. And wilted violet, and you might think, my goodness, do those two colours go together? But as you can see here in the original, blended together, they just give a depth which is quite lovely, I think. And then along the bottom, I have used mowed lawn just to darken the edge. And as you can see, by using a darker frame, it draws the eye to the centre of our picture, which is, of course, our gorgeous Gus. So I'm going to start with aged mahogany there. And I'm going to use a blending sponge. You can use your brushes if that's what you prefer. I couldn't think of the word then. Too many things at once. Now, you don't want it to be too dark. And I'm just going to put a piece of either acetate, copy paper, something there, so that all my mucky fingers don't go all over. Just want to make sure it's not too dark before I start, because you can always go, that's it. Now I'm moving this in a circular motion just around the edge of my picture. Just at the top bit. So you can see what a difference that has made already. Now, I definitely don't want it to be too dull, right? Which is why I've decided that I'm going to put a bit of wilted violet in it. Now, often, you've got to be a bit careful with a purple, but I think over the aged mahogany, it works pretty well. You might think, goodness, can you even see it? But I'll do half of it, and then you'll see the difference between the bit that I've done and the bit that I haven't. So again, just going in a circular motion. Right. So can you see this side is the bit that I've done and this I haven't. So certainly there's a depth here, and you can just see that purple peeking through the aged mahogany there. The next stage being the bottom. And for that I've just used one colour. I've just used Mowed Lawn. And I'm just going to do the same. Yep, just need to make sure that you don't go in too dark. There you go. Look at that. So this is a really quick and easy background, but you know, with some of the added extras, you've made it your own as well. Isn't that fun and quick? Now, we're going to take our feather from the Woodland set. Again, I'm still using Nocturne. And just look at the detail on this feather. Amazing. And I'm going to just angle these differently underneath the branch there. Then I'm going to take the branch, ink it up again, and put a few at the top of our picture. Just give that ink a second or two to soak into the page. That's come out beautifully there. And I'm just going to do another one over here. These berries are lovely on this branch. Look at that. Now I'm just going to put a couple of berries at the top there, on top of that branch. And then the last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my white pen and I'm just going to dot his eyes. That makes them pop. You can see the difference there. And his beak, just draw a line down the middle there. Just going to turn it around so I don't smudge it. There we go. And then a couple of little dots around here. These little berries at the bottom. Obviously, you can put the little dots wherever you like. So, there you have it. Gorgeous Gus in the forest. Now, what I did with him here is I just mounted it. A nice wide border because he deserves to be a statement. I put a bit of white behind him first and then this lovely wine coloured card. So there we have it. Thanks so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed the rest of the weekend. Bye for now.